Hey everyone, I want to chat with us today about overcoming difficult ministry moments. In particular, the ones that are very personal. Maybe it's somebody that left your ministry in a very painful manner. Or maybe it's a fight that broke out between your team members or your board. Maybe it's a project you invested a lot of energy into only to see it fail. Or the compounding effect of week after week giving everything you have and seeing no change or no progress. Maybe it's issues in your family, like a child that walked away from the Lord. I know how that feels. How do we keep these things from derailing our ministry and pulling us out of the game? Well, I've got 3 ideas. The first is we've got to stay in touch with our experts in pain. And who are those in our network? Where I'm talking about our ministers over 60, and in particular, our retired ministers. They've got a lot of ministry experience. In fact, I think there's probably not one painful experience that a minister under 60 is experiencing right now that one of our ministers over 60 hasn't already gone through and made it to the other side. We've got to find ways to connect the generations because we can help each other go through these painful moments together. Another idea is to make sure you have that hobby, which is an escape from ministry. I know we talk about this often, but we all need that thing that we do at least once a week and hopefully a little bit every day that can give us a break from the ministry pressure we feel. For me, I love baseball. Baseball season's coming up. I love looking at the scores and watching games. And I also love riding my bike. I go on the missions bike ride to support missions and get with churches and pastors, but primarily it's an escape for me from ministry. Maybe you want to join me on the bike just for that main reason, but find a hobby. And then number 3 is to worship with emotion. Our Pentecostal worship experience is healthy because it's so emotional, which makes us healthier individuals for our ministry. And there's a trend where a lot of our churches are maybe not expressing as much of the Pentecostal worship experience like we used to. And there's a lot of different arguments about that. But one thing that it could be doing is really sapping us personally of some of the touch with our emotions that we get through that worship experience. I found a lot of pastors used to worship very prominently that don't anymore because they're so focused on their message or the production or the business during that worship time, and they're not really enjoying it for themselves. So I want to encourage you, make sure you're worshiping with emotion. My predecessor, Bob Wine, former superintendent, I spent a lot of time with him over 7 years, and the most emotion I ever saw from him was when he was in worship, where he just let it all out. So we've got to be in touch with our emotions in worship as well. All of that really centers around staying connected, because when you're isolated, you're in most danger of making big mistakes. In fact, that was the number 1 sign noticed by counselors who worked with superintendents last year of impending moral failure, is when people isolated themselves. So it's important that you stay connected so you can make it through tough ministry moments. In fact, even if you're not going through that time now, get connected, because when that time comes, you'll appreciate it. When I've been called in for the sticky situations with churches and ministers, it works much easier if we already have a connection base that we're starting from. So we've got the Multiply Council coming up in a couple weeks, and I want to encourage everybody to be there, but especially for the role of connection. If you're going through a tough, painful moment right now, send me a personal text, and I'll do everything I can to help you get there, because it's so important for you to connect. Hey, I love you guys. Always remember, walk holy, work hard, and worship Him. We're in this together. See you soon. God bless.